Hello, my loves. Happy Monday. I wanted to come on and talk to you about Saturn closing out at the last degree of not only Pisces, but of the Zodiac. Hi. Let me just adjust the TAS for a sec. And this is super karmic, super fated, super clearing, super cleansing. It is an ego death. It is a physical upgrade. It is facing your shit. It is surrender. It is a breakthrough. And our physical bodies are really feeling this because Saturn, it can feel like pressure. It can feel like a weight. It can feel like, a brick that's over your head, a glass ceiling that you can't seem to break through. And Saturn makes you work hard to reap the rewards. And Pisces has to do with your subconscious body. And Pisces really is about emotional wholeness. And so Saturn is kind of squeezing us and putting us, I have chills, is really putting a lot of pressure and squeezing us to really be embodied in this spiritual, manifested, divine, feminine, high priestess kind of energy. Hi, my love. And so it's a really kind of intense process. I talked a lot over the weekend about Sun conjunct Uranus because that was really putting physical pressure on our body. And now Saturn is kind of putting emotional, spiritual, energetic pressure on us because we're really in the midst of this timeline hop and this quantum leap and this quantum jump. We have all of these outer planet shiftings, which is extremely rare. So energy is moving fast. Energy is really heightened. And it is like an electric, it just feels like electricity. It feels like pressure. It feels like chaos as, the process of change, you really have to work through and against your subconscious resistance. Because anytime you go to move and to create change and to go bigger, your subconscious in your nervous system, in your body is on high alert to anything that is unfamiliar. And your nervous system is shaped through experiences, so it has to be rewired through new experiences. But this is how people stay stuck in the same patterns over and over again, is because they never broke free of their subconscious patterns and limitations that their body does to keep them safe and secure, right? But the process of this is what happens when you're unfamiliar is your body essentially is sending all of this information. Your senses is sending all of this information up to your brain, and you're trying to figure it out from your brain because your mindset starts plummeting, and you start to try and problem solve and stress and freak out, and you start to overthink and you start to overanalyze, and you get really hyper vigilant, and you're just what's gonna happen? And your mind's trying to control things. And you internally are spiraling out, right? You're spinning out of control. I call it the Tasmanian devil energy. And this is where you short circuit. And so what you don't want to do is to pull back and contract your energy, right? You really want to double down and lean in. And this is where your masculine energy is really helpful to really, not really give you a choice, honestly, and just be stay the course, stay the path, because that's really what power does. Power is I'm safe to feel anything that's coming up within my body, but I'm staying the course. And I'm moving, and this is where I'm going, and this is what's happening. And I know this is what is for me, right? And so then when that happens, you have to just be able to bring your nervous system back into basically a ventral vagal state, right? A safety state, so that your subconscious can settle down. But what happens is when people retract their energy, when it's actually you need to know how to give yourself safety and self-nurturement and really nourish yourself and really take care of yourself through this process of expansion, because your body is trying to keep you safe, which is really kind, but it also keeps you from your expansion. And so right now is this like really kind of like make or break point with where you're going, because basically like over the weekend your roots were upheavaled, you were uprooted, and now you're feeling the pressure of this change that's wanting to come through, because Pisces is really quantum change. It really is like a really powerful manifester. It has the gift of anchoring in like the higher octaves of energy through its physical body, which is why it's so important to clear out your physical body of all these denser, deeper, darker emotions that keep your energy dense and stuck and sludgy and not creating and manifesting what you want, because you hold tension in your body, right? And so right now it's actually a perfect time because you're getting squeezed. All this tension is kind of getting squeezed. And so you're closing and you're clearing out all of this sort of emotional, energetic residue from your body. And you can go back the last 2 years. Saturn has been in Pisces for what those themes have been. For me, it's really been physical. It's in my second house. So it's been a lot about my physical body. I mean, and I also have a Saturn in the 12th house natally in my chart. Like my entire Saturn return was like this also. Like my entire journey has been about like clearing out the density of my body and learning how to work with my nervous system and getting my nervous system out of survival and into a place where I can consciously and subconsciously thrive, like literally go from survival to thriving. And so what happens is when you learn how to not contract, I always use this like balloon example, right? Because expansion and contraction happen at the same time, right? There's the totality of the experience, right? The balloon opens, and when you blow a balloon, the balloon opens and expands in all ways. And so you have to be able to hold the duality and the contrast and the constriction and the expansion in your body at the same time, because there can be good things that are happening, there can be potential bad things that are happening, right? But it's like it's all happening because it's like your body is expanding to hold more. And so you're literally just expanding your edges and you're becoming this new identity and this new version of yourself. And it requires you to surrender and to release and not try to control the process, but really be grounded through this process of change, because your nervous system, your body will do everything in its power to cock block and sabotage your quantum shift. Like, believe me, it is on high alert waiting to freaking sabotage you. And the way that it sabotages you is in the form of fear and doubt and stress and anxiety and things of your ego, right? If your ego is presenting in fear, that's it. If it's presenting in fear, it's your ego. If it's a judgment, it's your ego. If it's an excuse, it's your ego. If it's a limitation, it's your ego, right? If it's from scarcity or lack, it's your ego. Your intuition is grounded and it's neutral and it's full of trust. And so it's important that you can actually come back and regulate your body, because, and I'm teaching you how to do all this in the feminine frequency, because when you're in a heightened, like stretching, stressed out nervous system state, is not like when you're not necessarily like super in tune and like listening to your intuition, right? Because your body, you're operating from your survival patterns. And so it's important to know how to down regulate so that you can self-soothe and you can get the intuitive guidance for you to continue and trust yourself and take action, so you can actually make decisions from your new identity, from where you're going, and not from these reactive, mentally spirally places that your nervous system triggers your brain to and your ego to try and control and figure things out from a mental place. And so this mental break that you're looking for is actually in your body, and it requires you to probably move through some emotions, release some energetic charge, release some density, and really allow you to soften back to a safety ventral vagal state within your nervous system. And so once you know how to do this, and once you know how to do the identity shifts to make these shifts and these expansions, there's like all these birds going crazy outside my window. Once you know how to do all of these shifts, then you can just literally naturally shift your identity whenever you want and become someone different anytime that you want. And so right now, the cosmos are really squeezing you and they're calling you higher. And so it's time for you to double down and lean in and do the work. So if you are interested in really clearing out your emotional and energetic blockages, learning how to heal and work with your nervous system so that you can really just consciously expand. I mean, knowing how to work with your nervous system, it heals your stress. You get your time and energy back. Your anxiety is cut in half. You feel and you look better. You have a new relationship with yourself. You're more connected to your joy, your intuition. You can just be in a happy, fulfilled state, and you always know how to reassure and nurture yourself whenever life shifts and life happens, because you know how to work with your nervous system, because your nervous system is either supporting you. I mean, it's always supporting you technically, but it's supporting the life that you're creating, or it's working against you. And so if you're frustrated and you feel like you're banging your head against the wall because you're not creating the shifts that you know you're destined for, it's because you have to address your nervous system. You got to look at your body. And this is where most people get it twisted. This is why you can think in polarity all day long and you're not like manifesting every thought that you freaking think, because your nervous system is holding the patterns. Your nervous system and your body are really the key to manifesting, because if your mind can think like money, 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 money all day long, but if your body is like, hell no, it's like you can literally not outwork your nervous system. You can't out hustle your nervous system. This is how you get burnt out. This is how you get exhausted, right? And so learning to work with your nervous system, is a really powerful part of doing this work. So if you are interested and you want to create change, if you really just want to become, the woman deep down inside that you are at your core, like that's how I always felt. Like I always knew that there was like this 10 that existed within me, but I didn't know how to liberate her and to become her and really just be the person that I knew I was meant to be, and really just create this extraordinary life that I'm now living. But I didn't know like the step by step. I didn't know how to work with the body. I didn't know how to create really a life on my terms. Oh my God, the crown just fell. My crown just fell. There we go. This is like my inner child was like being playful one day, and I like took this from the Burger King. But literally I was just playing. You just get reconnected with that inner child part of yourself, where you get to play and you get to create and really just create a life on your terms, that one that works for you, outside of like the two kind of archetypes that women are given to either be a boss babe or a trad wife. It's like, no, there's so much room in the middle for you to create a beautiful life and, create a life that feels good for you and your body. This is the work that we're doing inside of the feminine frequency. We're going through all 7 of your chakras, and we're doing the shadow work. We're doing the identity work. We're clearing the shame. We're clearing the guilt. We're really developing yourself and really shifting and changing your relationship with yourself. We're establishing a new foundation of safety, of groundedness, of abundance, and really opening your heart, really expanding your electromagnetic field, which makes your frequency high, which makes you magnetic, so that you have a magnetic aura. Things get attracted to you. If you want to call in love, that sort of thing, like you need your heart open. And then too, we're turning and clearing your intuitive channels so that you can naturally just trust yourself and the guidance that you were always given, and be your own best resource, right? Your best guide, your own best guide. That's what happens when you're connected to your intuition. You never feel alone again, because you trust you're always guided and supported by something higher than yourself. So I'm really excited. We're doing 370 high activations inside of this space. They are so powerful. They will compound over time, because I'm still working through things and integrating things from sessions I've had months ago with Jack. So they are so powerful. They're so potent. They're so transformative. And we're going to be moving a lot of energy inside of this container. So it's only for you if you're ready to do the deep, powerful, and transformative work. And when I say this is the exact framework and the exact blueprint of everything I've had to do to transform my physical body, my physical appearance, but also to like internally just be grounded and calm and at peace with myself. Yes, they absolutely do work for men. Of course. Because energy is energy, right? We both have feminine and masculine energies within us. This container is specifically geared towards helping women really have a glow up and really turn on their intuition and develop their relationships with themselves. But the identity work, the relationship with yourself, like all of the nervous system work, it is the same for men, except men actually have different nervous systems. Women have oxytocin-driven nervous systems. Men have dopamine-driven nervous systems. So that's why men can just do, whereas women were like more connection-based in our nervous systems. And so that's just like a simple way to explain it. But there are some nuances, but yes, we both have masculine and feminine energies within us. And the laws of the universe, laws of energy still work regardless of gender. So if you are interested, it's going to be 6 weeks. We're jam-packing all of the calls into June. Telegram will be 6 weeks. You get access to my Venetian Bitch course. I've already gone through and planned out like everything that we're going through inside this container. It's going to be so epic. And then we're going to take it deeper on Telegram, where you get customized direction and support and coaching from me to move through and shift your energy field and really clear out your emotional and energetic blocks. And at the end of the 6 weeks, you're going to have a full head to toe glow up to be a completely transformed person and woman by summer. So if you're interested in that, definitely join. It is an investment that will compound tenfold, and you'll have a new energetic set point to create your wildest dreams. That's the frequency. That's the frequency the container said when Jack set the energetic coding for the container. She was like, we're creating life beyond your wildest dreams. That's what the container said that we're doing. So super fun, super exciting, going to be very expansive. But yeah, really just stay grounded this week, because Saturn is closing out Pisces, and it's requiring you to release and shift a lot of energetic residue and gunk and sludge, and really master those lessons that you've been moving through since it's been in Pisces since March 2023. So sending you lots of love. I'm sure I'll come on and talk, and I'll have a video about when it enters Aries on Saturday, but it's going to be a whole timeline shift once it enters Aries on Saturday, because it is going to conjoin with Neptune, and it's going to be a whole new world for real. So this week is definitely like the death to rebirth energy. That is what Pisces is. It really is where things go to die to be reborn. It is the end, and then the new beginning, the creator happens in Aries. So it's a wild time to be alive, y'all. It really is. We're confirmation. We are going to look back at this time in our lives and like know what the fuck we were doing. So sending you all of my love. The cosmos are calling you higher. Just, do the work and answer the call, baby. Sending all my love. Bye.